So we're switching games. All right, I did not think that that game would be like less than 30, 20 minutes, and I expected to talk about something, but then again, that was a packed 15 minutes, so I don't know, I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, we're gonna switch to Rocket League. This still probably not the best game to play at like 2 a.m. in the morning, focusing on talking and stuff, but that's all I got. I wanted to play Towers Unite and play some mini golf, but it's not a guarantee that I'll load in correctly, and it's too much of a wait. I wouldn't say hassle, but it's not worth it to me. Plus, it's late. I'm still probably gonna be up, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I did think of a topic though. So in about a couple months, me and my friends we're gonna go to New York, and we're gonna spend a couple days there. We don't really have a plan on what we're gonna do there because it was kind of just like a impromptu type thing that where one person is going there because he used to live there, and people just kind of added themselves in, and that that also includes me. So we're gonna see how that goes. But the thing I wanted to talk about is I guess jobs and money in general. I would say that I'm good at saving money, but I'm not good at gaining money, if that makes any sense. So, I guess work background. I worked at a grocery store for like a year. I worked at Staples for about 2 months, and then I got a seasonal job at Macy's and also worked there for about 2 months as well. And I mean, I'm still like 18, so that's like what? I started when I was like 16, on the verge of 17, and I've worked probably about maybe 16, 15 months in total, and have that much work experience. So I'd say I've done pretty good in terms of just like getting work done. But for me, it's like I don't like staying at a single place too long. I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's work. I understand that, but for some reason, like whenever I'm at a place, it's just like if I'm not feeling the vibe there, I don't like it. But I understand that like I'm a college kid, so obviously you can't find a part-time job that you like per se. Most of it's just kind of like I'm just here for the money, and that's how it was for when I worked at Staples and Macy's. I pretty much got the jobs because I needed the money, and except for the first job I had, which was a bagger at a grocery store, that was the only time where it wasn't about like, I guess, getting money, but it was about getting work experience, because I was like, it was like my 11th grade year in high school, and I mean, all I was doing was playing games pretty much. I wasn't really doing much. My school had no sports or anything like that, and I didn't really have anything to do. So I just wanted to get a job and, use your time wisely for money at least. But I don't know. These first two couple of jobs I've gotten, I don't know. I know why I've gotten the jobs. It's obviously because I needed money. That's pretty obvious. But I feel like that's kind of how I do stuff now. Shit, I missed that. But like, so when I got the job at Staples, I was worried that like I'd need money for college. I'm going to community college, by the way, and I was worried that I'd need like extra money, even though I'm not living on campus or anything. But I felt like I'd want money to like do stuff with, like, I don't know, anything really. But I guess it's more like just making yourself more independent and stuff like that. But now, like, I need a job per se, but it's not the immediate thing. Like, when I had my job at Macy's, which is the most recent job I had, I probably worked, like I said, maybe, it wasn't 2 months, probably like 6 weeks. But I worked like non-stop pretty much. And it was because I needed money at the time. And I feel like I get jobs to fulfill short-term goals, I guess. Because at this point, I want a job, but I don't want a job to save money. I want a job to save money for the trips I'm taking. Like, I plan to take a New York trip and an LA trip in the summer, or towards the end of the summer. And obviously, I don't got the money. My parents don't got the money, so obviously, I gotta figure something out. So that's what I'm doing right now, or plan to be doing right now. And I guess the moral of what I'm trying to say, because I'm just ranting about shit right now. Oh shit, we scored? Holy crap. But I guess the moral of what I'm trying to say is, I have the habit of only getting a job when I most need it. And that's the thing that I'm trying to stay away from, or at least break the habit of. It's okay to, it's good that at least I'm getting money for the things that I'm trying to get, but I feel like it'd be much better to just get a job and just save, instead of just get a job whenever I want to do something. And like, if per se that thing already finishes, I shouldn't rely on, waiting for some temporary job. Well, all part-time jobs technically are temporary, but like, you know what I mean. Work there for like 2 months, get your money, and then drop out. Oh, fuck. That was not what I wanted to do. But, yeah. It is a struggle. I'm a lost child, man. Let me be honest. Oh shit. But yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, let me see if I can score this thing real quick. Okay, nope, that didn't work out the way I wanted it. Alright. It's very hard to play and commentate at the time. I'm not really paying attention to the game, and it's overtime, so now it's like, shit. It's crunch time, but we failed. Anyway, but yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. But yeah, in recap, I've worked at a grocery store for a year. After that, I took a little break because the reason why I quit that job was because, matter of fact, I should talk about each job and what I did pretty much. That would probably be the best thing. So anyway, the first job was being a grocery store bagger. At the time, it was probably almost summer, and I really wanted a summer job. I didn't have any work experience, and I felt that, like, while you're at high school, no matter what time, whether it's 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, whether you're working during school or in the summer, I felt like I should have a little bit of experience with having a job. And, I never, like, applied to any local places. Local places like whatever your local grocery store is, what that be. At first, I was applying to all the big places like, Staples, Kohl's, Target, and I was trying to land a job there. But, the hard thing about that is that you don't have anything on paper, so you're no one. And you don't have any work experience. I had no volunteering hours or anything, so you can't really prove to them that you're a worker or a good worker at that. So that was very hard. The only reason I got the job is because I had a friend named Anna, and she had worked there for like a year already, or almost a year already, and they needed baggers because for some reason this grocery store, no one likes being a bagger. And let me tell you what, I loved being a bagger. Reason being is that I'm terrible at dealing with people. And I can talk more about this in the next job I'll talk about, which is Staples. But being a bagger, pretty much all you did was bag people's stuff, clean the bathrooms, my grocery store was like a big grocery store, sort of, not like Sam's Club, Costco type shit, but it was a decently sized place. So you know, we had cards, obviously, not no Whole Foods type shit. So go outside, get cards. People would probably like complain about the weather, getting cards and stuff. I didn't mind it at all, to be honest. Like, I would rather spend 8 hours bagging people's stuff, not talking a lot, and just doing things, than shit. That was my fault. Then like spending like 4, even 2 hours constantly having to talk to people and sell stuff. And that will segue to my next job, which was working at Staples. When I worked at Staples, I was a sales associate, and apparently I was supposed to be, you know, A grade at selling stuff to people, but I was just a hyped up cashier. That's all I was. I did like no sales pitches and nothing. The only thing that they expected me to do was sell their store specific credit cards, just like, I forget what it's called, probably like Staples Rewards card or something like that, Staples Credit. And I thought that'd be easy because, you know, just have a conversation with a person. This is obviously after, just like a couple months after I quit my first job, and I was like feeling good about myself. Like, I had a good resume. It was like 11 months of doing, you know, that job, and I did like talking to people at the time until I realized that being a cashier was butt. Anyway, I like talking to people because I like to why? Oh my god. Anyway, talking to people is nice because they weren't like, you know, they weren't assholes to you. And I will say this about cashiers. Cashiers, when dealing with people, are the best because they get a lot of fucking shit for things that they don't know. And then when people, like, for example, so this is probably my first couple of days at Staples. I was supposed to get acquainted with all of the things that they offer, such as like, let's say you're buying like a tablet or something. They had something called like Square Protection or something. I forget what it was, but it was pretty much like, if anything happens to that device, they can cover it. Oh my god, they can cover it, and then, you know, they can fix it and whatever. And the only reason we saw that is not because we want the person's stuff protected. That's good and all, but we get a slice of the money, so that's the only good thing about it. I was terrible at it. Like, I don't want to force people to buy something that they don't want, because to me that's just fucking bullshit. Like, if you needed something in the first place, I don't need to tell you about it. I can inform you that there's this type of program, and I was fine with that. That was okay with me. But what I had to do was, you know, persuade, get them to buy it, I didn't like that. I didn't want to force someone to buy something that I myself wouldn't buy. Not because it's not useful, but I just don't buy this type of shit. Like, I don't know how to put it, but it's like, if it breaks on my behalf because of something I did, I'll buy a new one. I rarely break stuff. I won't say I rarely break stuff, but I don't break the important stuff. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. All right. I think the only thing that has broken that is of like high value was when I first got this computer. I was scared that I would either A, not get the correct parts, and B, not be able to put it together, so I opted for buying a custom-made one, like iBuyPower, I think, or CyberPower, one of those two. And it was like $800, and I was like, this is fine. And even with that, it was still bad because I didn't know what was going into the computer. Like, I did research, but I didn't know what that research meant. Oh shit, I just flop that. So for example, like I didn't do like benchmarking tests or whatever. You know how like people do like, oh, the 1060 GTX card, and like, you know, they get this many frames at this resolution paired with this motherboard, this RAM, and this CPU. I didn't even know what any of that is. Like, I didn't understand what RAM was and what's the difference between a hard drive and RAM. It was a struggle, man. And I was just like really banking on the thing, like all the things that were there, everything would pair well. And for about 3 months, they all did, which was fine. But then one night, I was playing Red Orchestra 2 with a friend of mine, and shit. And why does it keep on going into overtime? Anyway, we were playing Red Orchestra 2, and this was like a late night game session. This was probably like 4 hours from like the time of like 10 p.m. to like 12 a.m. And we were playing all the way until we finished the whole campaign online. Once we were done with that, I was like, oh my goodness, this is great. Before that time, I was having a couple troubles where my computer would like freeze up a lot. Well, not a lot, but like sometimes. But it wasn't as drastic as I would think, and I thought everything was good. After the day after I woke up, probably like 10, 11, I try to start up my computer and it doesn't boot. And I had no idea what happened. I was like calling my brother who like knew about computers, and for some reason it wouldn't boot. And the problem was the problem was the motherboard melted. The whole thing melted. Well, not the whole thing, but like the CPU melted because the heatsink couldn't compensate for all the heat that was going in, so it literally melted the whole CPU pocket down. And I fucked it up. I mean, I was kind of thankful that I had the warranty from the company that I bought the computer from, but I feel like if I did more research, I would have been made a better decision, because once I finally was like able to like look at all the parts and components of the computer, I was able to realize that like the motherboard I got was like a 1-star like reviewed motherboard, and everybody was telling me like, oh, shit burns too easily, like even with a good cooler it melts and stuff. And I was like, oh my god. And yeah, I didn't have a computer for like 2 whole months, and yeah, that was kind of butt. So I don't know. I chose computers because during the next gen transition for consoles, I didn't feel like getting an Xbox One or a PS4, because I was like, I'd rather switch to PC and see what that's about. But yeah, I have no idea where I left off at. I don't know why I was talking about computers, to be honest. Why was I talking about computers? I was talking about Staples. How the hell did I get here? What the hell am I talking about? Okay, I don't know, but that was the moral of the computer story. But Staples story. Let's go back to the Staples story. God damn it, I am all over the place. But when I worked at Staples, pretty much I hated being a cashier because I'd have to make people buy. Oh, I know. I was talking about the Square Rewards shit. Yeah, I didn't like being a cashier at Staples because of all of the like warranty type things that you had to sell to people, and we had like quotas. Those were the worst. We had quotas for the number of things to sell, because obviously all the franchises, you know, you wanna do the best for a franchise and make sure that you get the most for the franchise that you work at. And there would always be like this guy who comes in monthly, checks the review of the store and what they've been doing, and to the point everybody kept on quitting. Like when I joined, there was probably like 24 people, and then once it boiled down to like probably 6 months in, 7 months, something, 6 weeks in, 7 weeks in, 6-7 weeks in. What am I saying? There was like 12 people, and like you'd have like 3 people in the whole store, and it would pretty much just be a manager, one person working in the front cash register, which is usually just me because I work night shifts, and then it was a guy at like the postal place. And sometimes it'd be either one person stocking or another person working at the tech center place. So it was either 3 or 4 people, and to spread like 12 people over 7 days, it sucked. It really sucked. One of the things I liked about working at a grocery store was like the social aspect of it. I know when you're working you shouldn't be socializing and whatnot, but like when I worked at a grocery store, we had like at least 10 people. I also worked night shifts during that time. We had 10 people, and everybody was like at the same age. You know, it was like the first job they had getting into working, and it was just chill. Everybody was nice, everybody was kind, and it was dope. But then, I guess I had the same mentality going into Staples where I thought it would be the same thing, but no. Everybody there was just like, they were depressed, they hated working there. It was just like, I'm here for the money. And I was, you know, I don't want to be disrespectful to, like, you know, my coworkers, and I'm trying to be friends with them, but if they don't give a shit about you, like, that just puts you down. Like, you don't want to work. And granted, this is what I'm talking about, okay? This is the shit that I'm bad at. I got that job not because I needed money, but then because I wanted to start saving, just for anything. And I don't know, it was like putting up with that and wanting to save money for, you know, anything that occurs. I couldn't do it. I really couldn't. I was like, why am I working here when I don't need don't need the money, but like when I don't have a goal set in place for that money anyway? What am I saving it for? And that's why I quit after like 2 months. A, because everybody was quitting and I wasn't about to do like 5-6 days of work plus school, and I don't know, it was just like not even worth it. Like, I didn't need the money at the time. It'd be nice to save it, but it wasn't my priority. I'd rather take school over that. I also want to talk about school, to be honest. I want to talk about school stuff, but that's probably going to be in another video. But yeah, alright, this is probably going to be the last game, or until I finish the topic about work. So we have one more job that I worked at, and that was at Macy's. And if I were to rank my jobs, I'd probably say that the grocery store was the first one, the second one would be Macy's, and the third one would be Staples. Now the job I had at Macy's was like pretty much okay, so a funny story was I got there the first day for, I guess you could call it orientations or training, and I got there and I had applied for, I think the job was probably stocking, something along those lines. It was like in the back stocking because, you know, I worked at Staples and I was seeing like I didn't want to be a cashier there, and I was like, I'd rather do like the side jobs, you know, not be the main face of like you buying stuff. I didn't want to do that. So I was like, let me just be like stock and or like, you know, clean dressing rooms and stuff like that. So when I went there, I was waiting in line with these 2 other people. One person was getting trained to be a cashier. The other one was doing the same job I was. And I was like, and I was like the third in line. So the first person who was a cashier, she goes in, does her training in the back somewhere. The second person, who was like stock or whatever, I forget what my job was, to be honest, but it was she goes there, he goes there, and he is like waiting for the lady to, you know, be like, alright, you ready to go train and blah blah blah. But the guy had got rejected because of I guess the timing he like signed up for, and like there were no more spots available. And I was like, holy shit, like I thought that I was going to not get the job either, because prior to this I had gotten a job, or I had gotten a job offer from an Amazon warehouse packing place, and I had friends who worked there, so I was like, oh shit, like it's you get paid like $12 to work at like Amazon packing, and I was like, I'll do that. Like that's like what 5 hours packing stuff, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll do that. But I went to the orientations, and usually when you go to the orientations during that time, they give you the schedule that you're already going to be set on. And I was like, oh shit, I got this in the bag. I go there, they tell me that the time that I signed up for isn't available anymore, even though I got like emails and like papers saying that I already got the job and all I had to do was go into like orientations. And I was like really bummed out. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is bullshit. So I was sad about that. Then a couple days later, they emailed me about a like nighttime shift, and I was like, yeah, I'll do nighttime. I was like, that's fine. At the time, or this was during my current school schedule. I go to school 2 times a week, like for like what, 9-ish hours or something like that. So yeah, I was like, let me do this. Like this is what I want to do. This game is fucking, it's too much for me. So yeah, that is what happened, and because of that, I was feeling all nervous because I felt like the same thing would happen where they tell me I have the job, I go to like orientation training, and then they tell me I don't have the job. But luckily, the same thing did happen to me. I signed up for the same job he did, and they didn't have any available spaces. But what they did was they had another job available, and it wasn't a cashier position, so I was happy about that. And I forget what it was, but I think it's called support something around those lines. But you pretty much like take care of all items that are left behind by customers at the cash registers, clean up dressing rooms, and do anything that they need to do. I also had another job doing inventory, which was pretty cool. All I did pretty much was, I guess we're gonna play one more game. All I did was I pretty much, I don't know, I wouldn't say count the items, but we did a full scan of the whole store during the nighttime for like 8 to 10 hours. And we just kind of marked down what we had and what we needed. And that was kind of cool. I didn't have to deal with anyone except for coworkers, and they weren't terrible people, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, that job only lasted about 6 to 8 weeks because obviously it was seasonal. And yeah, I was hoping that they'd give me a job out of like, like from part-time seasonal to part-time permanent, but they didn't have any spaces. And I mean, I wasn't expecting them to accommodate me at the time because I was like, I doubt they need me. But yeah, that was about it. Wow, I talked a whole bunch, but yeah, that's about it. That's all the work-related type things I wanted to talk about, to be honest. I don't really have anything else to say. That was a nice shot. Yeah. So, to recap, I worked 3 jobs. I really liked one of them. The second one was, I really liked one of them. The other one was terrible, and then the last one was subpar, decent, pretty standard stuff. Wasn't that bad. But yeah, that's all I had to talk about. If you guys want to like write in the comments section about your job experience, I'm willing to look at it, read about it, because I want to do more stuff on the channel. I don't really have anything planned except for when I do take my New York trip and LA trip. I do want to record or vlog that type of stuff because I haven't done vlogs. So that'll be interesting. But as for like gaming type talking stuff, I haven't really thought about anything except for A, the thing we just talked about right now, and then B, I also want to talk about school type stuff. But yeah, uh, that's about it. I don't really have anything else to say. So with that, I think that's about it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, listening to me rant about work and my struggles with money. I guess not really struggles with money, but how I deal with the use of money and how I manage. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more stuff. Goodbye. Hello, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that video. I know my thoughts were like everywhere. It was like 2 a.m. It was a struggle for me, but I really wanted to record something because all I did all day was sleep. But yeah, really hope you enjoyed that. To be honest, it was all around. It was a rant, honestly. But I mean, what do you expect? But I'll try harder. I'll try some different stuff. I'll also try to work on the audio because I feel like in game is a little louder than I expected, and there's a little bit of crackling with the mic. But I'll see what I can do and see if it becomes better. Hopefully, I'll have this video the day after I post the 30 Flights 11 one, and if that doesn't happen at the latest, it should be on or posted by Friday. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope you guys have a good day.